No matter how good I feel, anxiety will always show up to ruin my day. Anxiety seems determined to stop me enjoying myself. It refuses to let me be happy. If you listen to the way people talk about anxiety, it's clear that most people regard it very much to be their enemy. It's as if it's an entity with its own malevolent intentions, determined to upset us and destroy our life. And yet, when you say it out loud, that sounds ridiculous, but still we fight against it and talk about it as if it's the villain in our story. So what if anxiety isn't the enemy at all? And what if the reason it feels so bad is simply because we've been treating it as such? What if the reason for your anxiety is simply that you've been busy fighting a war with yourself? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Tim Box, mind coach and anxiety specialist. And today I want to challenge one of the most common misconceptions that people have about anxiety. The idea that anxiety is the enemy. And if you've spent any time struggling with anxiety, you've probably described it that way yourself at some point. You want rid of it completely because from your perspective, it's the thing that's ruining your life. And honestly, I understand why. Anxiety can feel absolutely awful. The physical sensations and the unwanted thoughts can very much feel like the worst thing that's ever happened to us. And because it's all happening internally as part of our own process, it's easy to conclude that something's wrong with us and a part of us is actively trying to harm or upset us. But here's the problem. The moment we decide anxiety is the enemy, we create a question that has no good answer. Why would a part of my own mind turn against me? Think about it. Anxiety isn't a medical issue, it's an emotional response. And our emotions originate internally, not externally. As much as they might be triggered by external factors at times, the reason why different people respond differently to the same situation is because it's all about what's going on with our own psychological process more than our environment itself. It's not what happens, it's how we interpret what happens that counts. So if we treat anxiety as the enemy, then that means the enemy lives inside of our own head. It's a part of ourself, a part of our own mind. And if we believe that part is actively working against us, what conclusion are we likely to draw? That something is wrong with me, that I'm in some way broken, my mind must be malfunctioning. No wonder so many people end up feeling frightened that they're losing their mind or going mad. No wonder so many people conclude they have a mental health issue that they can't simply put right. We've framed these thoughts and feelings as an attack from within, and attacking ourselves doesn't make sense. Not only does it cause us to frame our emotional responses as part of some mental illness, but we immediately start to go to war with ourselves, perceiving any future anxiety as that villain inside us continuing to display a malevolent and ultimately broken response. But what if the very premise all those fears are based on simply isn't true? Let's look at anxiety differently. Anxiety is not a part of you trying to hurt you. In fact, the intention behind anxiety is the exact opposite. It's a part of you trying to help you. I know that doesn't always feel true, because when anxiety is intense, it can feel incredibly unpleasant. But the way something feels is not necessarily the way it is. Let's break this down step by step. Anxiety is the emotion your mind uses when something feels important. It's your subconscious nudging you to make you pay attention to something. It might be fairly mundane, like remembering to send an email this morning, or something with perceived higher stakes, like preparing a presentation at work. But ultimately, if we think about anxiety as simply the way your mind delivers messages to you that tell you where your conscious focus needs to go right now, then it starts to make more sense. Sometimes that message will be about perceived safety, and in those instances, fear might come to the party, and as a result, we might feel those physical fight or flight sensations. And the concern might always be physical safety. Sometimes the threat might be to do with acceptance, connection, purpose, success, family, health, or just the future in general. But it's important to understand that feeling anxious isn't a sign that there's something wrong. Your mind isn't saying you're doomed, it's saying this is important. One way to think about anxiety is like an over-enthusiastic friend. You know the type. They're trying to help you, their intentions are good, but they can be a bit much. You tell them you've got an important presentation tomorrow, and suddenly they're texting you at midnight with 12 different things you need to remember. That over-enthusiasm might be unhelpful, but it's understandable. And the intention certainly isn't to destroy you, it's to help you. That's anxiety at times. It doesn't hate you. If anything, it just cares too much. Before we go any further, have you checked out the members area of this channel? In there you'll find hours and hours of extra anxiety and mind coaching content, including my full control system training and the Clear Your Head Anxiety Relief Program. You'll also get full access to exclusive weekly live Q&As. It's just £9 for a full month's access, and you can join by hitting the button on the homepage or clicking the link in the description of this video. See you there. This is where recovery often gets stuck. People spend years trying to defeat anxiety because they've established its role as antagonist in their story. It's the big bad, that challenge they need to overcome, the villain that needs to be defeated. But how do you win a war against a part of yourself? Even if you could, what exactly would be left standing after the conflict? You don't achieve peace by going to war with yourself. The moment you stop treating anxiety as the enemy, you stop triggering that second layer of fear every time you feel it. And that changes everything. At its core, anxiety means something very simple. It means you're alive, and it means you care about your happiness and well-being. That's it. Both of these things are positive. Both of these things are healthy. Feeling anxious means you have hopes and dreams. It means you have responsibilities and things you care about. And whilst those things can sometimes feel uncomfortable, they're not bad things. They're signs of a life being lived. So the next time you feel anxious, instead of treating it like a malevolent force that's shown up to ruin your day, treat it more like a part of your perfectly healthy mind showing concern for something. Instead of asking, how do I get rid of this? Try asking, what is this part of me trying to do for me? You might not always agree with its concerns. You might not always need its advice. But once you understand that anxiety is not the enemy, you stop fighting yourself. And that's ultimately how you achieve peace. If the ideas discussed in this video are resonating with you and you'd like my personal guidance to help you get the other side of anxiety, then follow the link in the comments to book a free, no obligation consultation. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel for weekly videos on anxiety and understanding how the mind works. But that's it for this one. I'm Tim Box. Always remember, be kind to your mind. I'll see you next time.